Ahead of peace deal signing with Iran, Trump cautiously urges Bibi to rein in Lebanon attacks, signaling concern about a wider regional flare-up. Strike Hezbollah but use judgment, Trump warns, as Mojtaba threatens a hard response if Israel escalates along the northern front. By hitting Mojtaba's proxy in Lebanon, is Bibi worsening confusion around the fragile U.S. Iran memorandum of understanding and its ceasefire terms? Hezbollah continues to rain fire on IDF units, with first-person view drones leaving 5 soldiers wounded in the latest cross-border clash. Hezbollah first-person view drone struck Israeli Defense Forces units in southern Lebanon early on June 18, targeting troops near the village of Kfar Tebnit close to the city of Nabatieh. The attack injured 5 Israeli soldiers, according to reports, after explosive-laden drones dove on their positions during operations in the area. One of the drones detonated near an IDF tank, wounding 4 of the 5 soldiers in the blast as it hit close to the armored vehicle. Another drone then struck a vehicle that was being used to evacuate the injured personnel, further complicating the rescue effort. In response, Israel launched artillery strikes aimed at Hezbollah positions in the surrounding sector, seeking to suppress further drone launches. Later, during a bilateral meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Donald Trump was asked whether he wanted Israel to halt its attacks. Trump replied that he wants Israelis to protect themselves, but also said he wants them to use good judgment in how they conduct their operations. Fresh strikes and counterfire along the Lebanon front are raising concerns about a wider regional escalation. The renewed violence is fueling questions about whether the fragile ceasefire process can survive. Tehran says it remains committed to its allies as the future of the resistance axis comes into focus. Israeli strikes reportedly killed at least 4 people in Lebanon's Nabatieh governorate on June 16. According to reports, multiple vehicles were targeted in separate attacks across southern Lebanon. The strikes came despite ongoing efforts to secure a broader regional ceasefire. Hezbollah responded by launching rockets toward Israeli troops operating in southern Lebanon. Israel said several of the incoming rockets were intercepted by its air defense systems. The Israeli military later announced that it had destroyed the launcher used in the attack. The IDF also reported striking a suspicious vehicle near its operating area. According to the military, troops fired warning shots before carrying out an airstrike. The latest exchange marked another escalation along the already volatile Lebanon front. Residents returning to damaged communities say fears of renewed fighting continue to grow. Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters has issued a fresh warning directed at Israel. The command says Israel should expect a strong response if military operations in Lebanon continue. Iranian officials argue that Lebanon remains a key element of the broader U.S. Iran understanding. Tehran insists that any lasting agreement must include an end to Israeli operations in Lebanon. Iran says the wording of the proposed agreement leaves no doubt that Lebanon is included in the understanding. Pakistani officials involved in mediation say the deal envisions a halt to fighting across all regional fronts. However, both Israel and the United States have disputed Tehran's interpretation of the agreement. The final text of the memorandum has not yet been made public and remains unsigned. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israeli forces will remain deployed in southern Lebanon. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi argues the conflict cannot be considered over without an Israeli withdrawal. Iranian negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf has urged Washington to pressure Israel to leave the territory. Reports suggest Hezbollah received assurances that Iran would continue raising the issue during future talks with the United States. The developments come after President Trump publicly criticized Israel's latest attacks on Beirut ahead of the proposed Iran agreement.
Can this deal survive if Israel attacks Lebanon?
It can, and I consider that the minor war, Iran's a big one, but we have that little pinprick out there that constantly rears its head, and that's Hezbollah. And, I was very responsible for Syria, and the man that's running Syria now is a person that I put there along with President Erdogan and some others. He's done an amazing job of pulling it together. He's not a Boy Scout, but he's done an amazing job of pulling it together. And he is very good with Hezbollah, does not like them. And I'll tell you what, Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it.
Is Netanyahu on board with
And I didn't like Syria. I didn't like where 2 hours before we're signing the agreement that there was an attack in Lebanon, in Beirut. It was right in, it wasn't like in the southern side, and it was in Beirut. I did not like that. I let them know that. I didn't like it, not at all. But I think that Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable. And he's been very good for me. He's protected everything that I've asked for, he's done. And if Israel can't do the job without killing everyone else, he'll do the job. Syria will do the job.
Are you frustrated with Netanyahu, sir?
No. We had a great relationship. We're talking about some end details. I didn't like that he did an attack based on there was a very minor little thing with some drones that were released, and he ends up doing I saw that attack. I saw where that bomb went. Did you see what happened? That was a vicious, that was too much. You can do too much also. But we've had a very effective relationship. Without the United States, there would be no Israel. Without me, there would be no Israel, because no other president was willing to do what I did. I've had a great relationship with Bibi, but now Bibi has to be more responsible with respect to Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a great country. It was a country where you had professors, doctors, lawyers. The great intellect was in Lebanon. Now it's terrible. I would say of all countries, they've been treated the worst. And they can't defend themselves. And they have Hezbollah, which is a problem for them. So, no, I'm not happy with the way Israel has handled themselves with Lebanon and with Hezbollah. They should have been able to do the job faster. It just goes on forever. And when that happens, it throws a negative light on the big deal, and that's the deal with Iran. So when you ask me about Bibi, an unbelievable relationship. But Israel would have been blown up a long time ago had I not gotten involved.